Hey guys, Patrick here with Browder Fleet Maintenance and Repair. Today we are going to be going over how to do an oil change on your semi truck. Here I have my FL60, which is a medium duty truck with a 5.9 Cummins in it, but it's all the same. The oil change process is no different. So let's go ahead and roll the hood and take a look. Now we have the hood flipped open. Let's go ahead and locate the filters on this engine. First, right here, I have my fuel filter on the driver's side. Almost all engines will have the fuel filters on the driver's side. Then we'll go around to the passenger side. And tucked in there is my oil filter on the passenger side. Again, almost all engines will have the oil filter or filters on the passenger side. Now, a couple things you'll need to do your oil change. You'll need a drain pan, a funnel, a ratchet and a socket, the correct filter wrench, filters. Here's my fuel filter and my oil filter, and then you'll need your oil. To make sure you have the right filter wrench, just take the filter out and you'll slide the filter wrench onto the new filter to make sure that you have the correct size. That way you're not getting up and down from underneath the truck to know what size filter wrench you need. So now we're underneath the truck. You want to locate your drain plug on your oil pan. Go ahead and wipe that off and all the area around it to keep any dirt from getting in the oil pan. And then put your socket on there. We'll go ahead and bust it loose. Now that we got it loose, we can take it out by hand. Make sure your drain pan's positioned to catch your oil. Hold on to your drain plug. And I was going the wrong way. That way it doesn't fall in the pan and you gotta dig for it. Let that oil come out. Most of the time, these drain plugs are magnetic, so you want to check them for any metal. You don't want any big chunks or excessive amount of metal in there. Go ahead and wipe it off and clean it before you reinstall it. And typically, while I'm letting this oil drain, I let it all drain out, and then I walk around the truck and grease everything up. But I want to do another video on greasing, so I'll just let this drain out till it's all the way out and then nothing else is coming out. Alright, so now we've got a nice clean drain plug. We're going to go ahead and stick that back up in the oil pan after all the oil's done draining. And then we're going to tighten it up, just snug it down. You can look in your manual and get the torque spec and get your torque wrench, but I know most of you don't have a torque wrench, so we're just going to snug that thing down. And then we'll wipe it off again, any oil that was spilled on the oil pan. And now we'll move on to replacing the oil filter. So as you can see, my oil filter is right there. And my drain pan is right below it because some oil is going to come out of that filter. So we're going to put the filter wrench on it. Just like so. And then you just lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Now I already broke it loose. So now I can take the filter wrench off, spin it down by hand, make sure you have a good grip on it or it will drop out of your hand. And you'll be covered in oil. Just like that. Make sure that the O-ring from the old filter came with the filter when you spun it down, or else when you put that new filter on there you'll have two O-rings and you'll have a major leak. Just dump it into your oil pan. You want to look up there at your filter head, make sure it's nice and clean, you don't have any dirt. And then we go ahead and wipe it clean where that O-ring sits up against the filter base. So now we have our new oil filter. Go ahead and fill the filter up. It'll save you in the process of changing your oil. You don't have to keep going back and topping the oil off and rechecking it. Just go ahead and fill it up from the get-go. Take some of that oil and go around that O-ring. Get that O-ring lubed up. Now see these small holes? When the engine's running, the oil goes through these small holes and is sucked out into the engine by the engine through the big hole. So it's filtering. When it gets poured in, you want to pour it in these little holes. That way it gets filtered, and then the engine will suck it out through the big hole. Same concept with the fuel filter. Try and get as much as you can in the little holes. That way it's filtered before the engine uses it. Alright, so now we got the fuel filter back on there, full of fuel. That way we try not to lose prime. If you have a hand primer, mine is right here, go ahead and give that some pumps until it's nice and hard. This one's pretty hard, so we didn't lose any bit of prime. Locate your fill tube. Cummins, almost all the time on the front of the front cover. Get you a funnel if need be, and go ahead and fill the engine with oil. Make sure you try and find a spec on your engine oil capacity without the filter, since we already filled the filter up. So you want the spec just for the oil pan capacity. Alright, so now that we got the oil in the engine, let's go ahead and check the dipstick and make sure it's right on the line. Little rag here is convenient to check your oil with. Go ahead and wipe it off. This is going to be tough to see. Right here is the oil level. So it's on the wrong side, so you just keep your finger there, flip it over, And we're right on the full mark. And make sure you reinstall your oil fill cap. And use this time to check all your other fluids. Your coolant, your power steering, transmission fluid, all that good stuff. It's supposed to be done on your pre-trip and post-trip, but use this time as well to give everything a good look over. So again, my truck has this is the power steering reservoir. It has a dipstick on it. So we're just under max cold. So that looks good. You automatic transmission guys, you should have a dipstick in your engine bay somewhere for your transmission. You manual transmission guys, you'll have to get up under there. Most likely it's a Eaton. Get up under there on the driver hand side, and there should be a plug in the transmission. So automatic transmissions will have a hot and a cold. So we'll wipe this off. And we'll reinsert it. If you're checking the dipstick, always wipe it off. And then pull it back out, and that'll give you a good reading. So I just ran this truck not too long before I changed the oil, so it's still a little warm, so it's on the hot side. If it's been sitting for a while, overnight or something, it needs to be in that cold range right there. And you really should check an automatic transmission while it's running. It even says this when it's warm. Check it in neutral. There you go. Check it at idle in neutral, and you should be in that hot zone. For those dipsticks with the turnstile on, turn them until it's tight. Give it a tug test and make sure it won't come out of there. Now we can go around and check the coolant level, find your reservoir, touch that cap, make sure it's not extremely hot. If you can't keep your hand on it, don't open it up, or you will be taking a bath. So this style, you'll push down, rotate, and pull off. And I got to do another coolant flush on this. Then all you'll do is put the cap back on there, push down, rotate till it stops. You are good to go. Well, use this time to check over anything else in the engine bay, the belts, any leaks. I got one exhaust leak, looks like a oil leak on one of the valve covers. Alright, so now we got the oil changed, and make sure you got all your tools away from the engine bay. We're going to go ahead and start it up. What you're looking for is your oil pressure. You'll make sure that oil pressure comes up. Let it run for about 5 minutes, and make sure your oil pressure levels out to where it usually rides. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm on all the social media platforms. You can find me by searching Browder Fleet. I'll try to post 2 videos a week, starting with all the simple stuff, and then we'll get into some more in-depth stuff. Please, if you have any questions, comments, send me a message on any of the platforms, and I'll try to get you answered. Thanks for watching.